What's good, y'all? It's your boy Jacques Morel, and here are my 10 favorite albums of 2021. Let's get right into it. At number 10, we have Yeat, Up to Me. Portland-based rapper Yeat dropped Up to Me about a couple months ago, and it came after 4L, which I dropped over the summer. He went viral on TikTok a couple times, and I mainly got put onto him because I was watching a video of people moshing to his music at a concert in LA. The music is dope. It definitely sounds kind of like the distillations of the influences of 2016 Carti, 2016 Yachty, essentially broken down into some new music here. There are a couple songs that definitely stand out. Let You Know is one of my favorite songs in the album, and he basically starts out the song by saying this might be his last song. He just had to let us know. Yeat's use of bells on the album. On Turban, he kind of gets a little like Young Thug Danny Glover in the way that he garbles his voice. Similarly, on Can't Change, it's like there's a whine in the back of the beat that is constantly going, but it really keeps you there focused. And number 9 is Kanye West's Donda. We are all kind of dreading this album. And I say dreading in the sense of we knew that it was going to be good, and we were asking ourselves, do we want to welcome Kanye back into our lives like that? I made the decision, and I did, and I'm happy that I kept up with it. Now, West has been doing a lot of wild things in the media, but when it comes to the music, it still bangs. The nexus of Kanye West is inviting a bunch of different collaborators to a stadium in Atlanta or Jackson Hole, Wyoming, or Hawaii to make greatness. I don't know if it's greatness, but there are some great songs on here. One track that definitely stands out to me is Hurricane. The Weeknd's voice is needling, and at first when I heard it, I thought it was kind of mid. I was like, all right, this is not that great, but I was really excited about the Lil Baby verse. But as I've continued to hear Hurricane, it just grows on me more and more. On Life of the Party, Andre 3000 spits a verse for the ages. For anyone that has lost a parent like I have, this verse really shows you what it's like to wonder what they're doing in heaven. On Off the Grid, Kanye essentially goads Fabio Foreign to a career verse. Come to Life is one of my favorite songs of the year, to be quite honest with you. When I first heard the song, I was instantly transfixed. The album's good. If you haven't listened to it yet, give it a shot. It's long, so it's only worth listening to through once. But other than that, it's definitely worth it. And number 8 is Mereba's AZEB. Mereba dropped this project. It's an EP, so not necessarily an album. It's only 7 songs. It's very short, but it has this theme of battle, which is so invigorating. The way the first song starts, she has this lyric where it's like, your weapons can't hurt me, my essence is shot-proof. And then on the third song on the album, Beretta, my personal favorite on the track, Beretta obviously aptly named, she has like a Bonnie and Clyde theme where it's like her and a partner's love against the whole world. But that's set up by Ryder, where you're trying to show that you are down for your partner and you're also down to survive. This project was too short. I wish it was longer. At number 7, we have Boldi James and the Alchemist's Bo Jackson. Boldi James, a Detroit rapper, has been described by some people as a memoirist in the way that he's able to retell these tragic moments in his life and just the trials and tribulations of the drug game in ways that are really easy to discern and really digestible. His flow can be a little monotonous at times, but at the same time, I feel like he gets so much exposition done in such few words. One of my favorite songs in the album is Photographic Memory. The Alchemist has this ominous foreboding sample in this beat. It's like, I seem distant and reserved. Y'all didn't need to hear me sing that. And then we get Bang, Bang, Bang. Boldi James, Earl Sweatshirt, and Rock Marciano. And the funny thing to me is like, I wonder if Rock and Earl, if you were to show their 2010 selves, this is who they were working with, would they really jive with it? Another track I love in the album, First 48 Freestyle. This is peak Alchemist. The beat is dark. It's foreboding. You can feel the tension in the track. And I think Boldi James lines up a great verse on First 48 Freestyle. At number 6, we have Tems, If Orange Was a Place. It kicks off with crazy things, and the beat is like kind of hearkening at you, almost like a bird, honestly. But then when her voice comes in, you're immediately enveloped in the warmth that is Tems. Her voice is one of the most unique in the game right now. And this is her second EP, if I'm correct. She was on Essence with WizKid that went viral this past summer before Biebs was on it, but I'm happy that she got to have her moment here. And number 5 is Whole Lotta Red. Yes, a year ago today, we hated. We called this album a whole lot of mid. But you know why I think we like it now? It's because this is a project that requires you to not be in your house like we were last year, but you need to be outside with people. I heard heard Stop Breathing play on July 4th and Filthy's tag came in, who is actually one of my favorite producers right now, and I think he has one of the best tags. And just seeing the roof almost cave in on itself as this song started playing, I realized like, oh no, we misjudged this project. The reason is because we were sitting there listening to it on our headphones and even our home speakers, even a sound bar, but we weren't listening to it outside when you're able to actually push up and move with the people as you're listening to it. Think about it. Jump Out the House at first sounded so dumb, but like now when I listen to it and I think of Rolling Loud and seeing all those people as literally trying to jump out the house, I get it. But it's the way that Carti brings in the rock influences that made it not Dial It 2. On That Time, you hear this guitar that is as menacing as it is demonic. At number 4 is Jazmine Sullivan's Heaux. What a project. It's her first project in 6 years, give or take, almost 6 years at this point. And it's really wonderful. Her voice is so powerful. From Philly, she's really holding it down. It's kind of like a concept album talking about the many layers of Black womanhood. So Black women, of course, are all different, but there are some shared experiences that they have. And this project is like a safe space for them. In the words of Mouse Jones, shout out to him, I have no business talking on women's business, but it's almost like this album allows me to come sit down and take part. And the thing that is so wonderful about it is how homey it is. She worked with her friends, she worked with Ari Lennox, she worked with her, she worked with her family on it. You hear the interludes and you just think to yourself like, wow, like this project feels like it was made in a bedroom or just made in a place with love. My favorite song is Pick Up Your Feelings, mainly because I just like to belt that shit out. Don't forget to come and pick up your feelings. At number 3 is Cautious Clay's Deadpan Love. I did not know who Cautious Clay was before this album, and I'm not trying to throw shade. There are just thousands of artists and there's thousands of gigs of music coming out every single week, and it's just hard to keep up with. Like, don't fight me. Like, what am I supposed to do? I can't listen to everything at the same time, right? Then who do you expect me to be? Blah, 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 blah. So what I do is I go through new releases and I save the albums from artists that I'm familiar with and covers that are dope to me. And this one was fire. On Box of Bones, have you ever been so hopelessly sprung over someone? That's literally the feeling of being hopelessly sprung for someone and just falling in love with them and feeling their personality and who they are just grip themselves around your heart. That's how I felt. And there's a couple other songs too. You have Whoa, Wildfire, High Risk Travel, but I really feel like the album kind of comes to a fore on Roots. At number 2 is The War on Drugs, I Don't Live Here Anymore. This album probably seems super random for anybody that doesn't actually know me, but I do be listening to rock sometimes. They dropped this album in October, but I only listened to it in November, early December. I was late because I don't really be checking out for rock like that. But this album is such a masterpiece. Every time you listen to a War on Drugs song, it's like you're walking into a painting. The album starts out slow at first with Living Proof, but then you get into Harmonia's Dream, and when them keys come in, I swear. And then it goes into Victim, where Adam Granducio's vocals really shine. You can't skip through their songs. You have to just press play and wait for it to develop. Listening to War on Drugs is also a lesson in patience. The best part of the song is never at the beginning or never at the end. It's always somewhere in the middle, when that random sound that you weren't expecting kicks in. Kind of like in the title track, I Don't Live Here Anymore, where duo Lucius comes in to back up Adam. But yeah, I love this project. I can't get enough of it. Seriously, The War on Drugs, I Don't Live Here Anymore. This might have been my number 1 album of the year if it wasn't for the fact that I'm Haitian. And my favorite album of the year at number 1 is Makami's Pray for Haiti. Makami has been in the game for more than 10 years at this point, but he's been like super underground for like the last 5 or 6. He's been selling his albums for like $1,000 a pop, kind of like Nipsey Hussle was doing. And the thing I liked about his projects is that he has so much of Haiti in them. And as a Haitian American, it's great to see yourself represented wherever you can. It was always cool to be Haitian for me, but there was a time where some of y'all didn't let me live. On this one, it opens with the 26th Letter, produced by Denny LaFleur, and you have Westside Gunn essentially talking shit, asking niggas if they've ever had sand on their feet, if they've ever been to the beach. But amongst my favorite parts about the album is listening to the influences that I grew up listening to incorporate themselves in Mach's music, notably with his bar on 26th Letter. Had to dumb it down on my slow 50-cent flow, my whip talk for me, Bentley wheels been spoke. He's an enigma. You never get to see his face, and I don't think there are any pictures of him documented showing his face. It's always covered with the Haitian flag. On Stellar Ray Theory, he references Takeover. Sun don't shine, then sun don't shine. Rain. His lyrics aren't on Genius, so you have to constantly listen to the album to actually study them in order to memorize them. It's not like you can go somewhere and find a guide, which also means that a lot of the references don't get broken down. And as someone that used to work at a company where your whole job was about breaking down references, there's something special about this one not being possible. Aleta Yo, it's a Haitian kid talking about the corruption in the government and essentially blaming them for why they are the way they are. On the Nicholas Craven produced Criminal, I'm not going to try to do it in a Haitian accent. I'm not going to let y'all come at me today. He essentially talks about the PTSD of people that are still in jail or who have died, and also kind of critiques of like, hey, they call me a criminal. Look at that criminal. There goes the criminal. The true highlight of the album is Au Revoir, where him and Melanie Charles essentially wax poetic in both Creole and English, and it just kind of leaves you on this wistful journey, and it's such a whole vibe. I didn't listen to Makami before I started listening to this album. I knew of him as the meme, as like the dude that took the meeting with Jay-Z, but I didn't realize that there was so much substance there that I could see why Jay-Z took the meeting with him. Mach dropped a bunch of projects this year, and all of his projects are now available on streaming services. So if you get a chance and you're into this, I suggest you listen. So yeah, those are my 10 favorite albums of the year. Thanks for watching and thanks for getting this far. There are a bunch of albums that didn't make it, so I'm gonna name them in succession. That's why y'all don't come in my neck. Tyler, the Creator's Call Me If You Get Lost. ESTG's Bigger Than Life or Death. Arlo Parks' Collapsed in Sunbeams. Covert Coup was released on streaming services this year. That's Currency and The Alchemist's project, as well as Mac Miller's Faces, which is a beautiful project. I'm so happy that I was able to be on streaming services. Little Sims' Sometimes Introvert. Mariah the Scientist's Rai World. Well done. Young Thug's Punk, although Love You More and then Hate the Game going one after another is the most hilarious thing. Lil Nas X's Montero, beautiful project, and I love the song with Miley Cyrus. And of course, J. Cole's The Off Season. How could I be from St. John's and not mention that? Anyways, thanks for watching. I appreciate y'all. Drop a comment, let me know what you think, and hopefully you can see more of this. Let me know if I should do some more. Other than that, I'll see you on the next one, all right? Peace.